It's that time of the month again. Yep, it's devlog time. This time we'll be talking about my new game, Tank. This game you'll be a tank, well, obviously, fighting against other tanks and enemy square troops. Right now, we only have the arena part available. There will be a story function coming out later. You can check out my timeline video for more information about that one. But right now, this is like an early version of it. You can see some stuff isn't unfilled, and there's some like image problems. Most obvious one is on the bottom where it's like the weapon select. None of those ones have image icons yet, but I'm working on them. Those might be done. The game will be out like actually just tomorrow in a pre-alpha or alpha state or whatever you want to call before it released. But I've been liking it so far. As you can see, there's 3 main weapons: machine gun, cannon, and ram. Then the upgrade pad, the thing in the center, serves as your upgrade point where you can upgrade your power, which influences your weapon, like how far the weapons shoot and how powerful the weapons individually are. Speed, which is tank rotation, and movement, just straight back, forwards, and forwards. And then you also have armor, which increases the amount of health. Right now there's several enemies, and the waves go on endlessly. The way I've made the enemies is they have different power rankings, and then as you progress through the levels, higher power ranking enemies are started to be spawned. There's additionally turrets that you will fight, which appear later on after level 8. With the most powerful power ranking is 5. There's only one tank in that called the Terminator Tank, which is kind of a mix between the cannon and the machine gun tank. And those are your like base tanks. They have power of 3. You can see the rest of the enemies when you play through it, but one of the main highlights is you have the machine gun, cannon, ram, and then there's a heavy version of the machine gun and the cannon, and then there's a mini tank, and then there's a handful of troops, 2 melee troops, 2 ranged ones, and there is a healer, but it doesn't really work in arena mode, so that'll only be in the story version of it. On top of that, I plan on having another update at the end of the month where I'm going to be adding an artillery enemy and a heavy version of the ram tank, along with additional improvements. Additionally, there's some minor things I already want to improve if I can't fit it in before the release tomorrow. The game will be released on the normal spots I always do, itch.io and GameJolt. There'll be like a trailer type thing out tomorrow that will give you the links for them and give you more information in a shorter format. In the 4 corners there are these healing pads, and they can provide free health because the only other way to get health is by paying for it, and you might not want to waste your money on that. But they can only give out 25 health, and you have to wait and sit on that pad, and they drain slowly, which is shown by the color changing, and then regain when you're not on it. One of the weird things is if you don't drain it all the way, it will take a shorter amount of time to recoup. Well, if you drain it all the way, you won't get as much health, but it doesn't have to have this longer cooldown period that occurs once you drain it all the way. And then the enemies spawn at the top, bottom, right, and left parts, not corners, just straight out from the upgrade pad. So at the healing pad, you're kind of in like a cornered position, so you'd want to be careful there, because if the 2 strong enemies come at you from both sides, you're already down on health, you can get really easily cornered, and you just might get cornered there, so you got to be careful. And then there's those little spike things, those subtract health when you run into them, and that I think is it. But game's out tomorrow, update 2 weeks from now.